Ross Coulthart confirms that one of the balloons shot down in Balloon Gate was not a balloon at all, but a UFO. We've got that and a lot more to talk about today, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, here's Ross.
I'm quoting here literally from a source who's just contacted me confidentially to confirm something that you and I first spoke about a month or two ago. You'll all remember that we did a story, and I did it also on News Nation, where we talked about the Alaska UAP object. And I said definitively that sources of mine were telling me that the Alaska object was anomalous. I didn't have a lot of information at the time, but I now do. I've just received this. The Pentagon tracked the Alaska object, confirmed that it was a silver cylindrical UAP and not a balloon. The President, Joe Biden, ordered the shoot done, and multiple assets were involved with the recovery. HC-130, F-16s for cover, and OGA black helicopters. That's a direct quote from somebody who has a source in the Pentagon, and he says that he is 100% certain of this account.
Now, I've talked multiple times about how I thought it was very interesting that the White House got involved in UFOs, seemingly, during Balloon Gate. I've talked about that many times. That's when they created their inter-office UAP program that seems to have had some interaction with Chuck Schumer and been involved in the creation of the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. So Ross's information that Joe Biden was directly involved in shooting down a UFO is very interesting, and it doesn't surprise me on the one hand, but on the other hand, it means that the president is part of the cover-up, which again, I guess shouldn't be surprising. How many presidents have been part of the cover-up? Have they all been part of the cover-up? Very likely, but now we know from Ross's sources, if they are to be trusted, and I think they probably are, that yes, indeed, at least one president is part of the cover-up. Now, he is also apparently working with Chuck Schumer with the Schumer-Rounds Amendment, and I've talked about that before. That seems to be what went on there, and that's why Chuck Schumer went with the Schumer-Rounds Amendment. I don't think that he would have done that without the backing of the White House. So the White House was supporting in some way UFO disclosure because, of course, the because the Schumer-Rounds Amendment is the UAP Disclosure Amendment. Of course, it does establish a 25-year timeline, and, possibly it would be headed up by a former director of the CIA who is also almost certainly part of the cover-up. At least that's who Danny Sheehan wanted to appoint as a member of the Gatekeeping Committee. So, very, very interesting that, all that is taking place. What does it mean? Who is actually pro-disclosure and who is not? It's very hard to say, but this is certainly juicy information from Ross Coulthart. And again, this is not in any way a political issue. Information, which version of the story is correct, or are they both correct? I don't know. But we have information from Haim Eshed and Mike Herrera that Donald Trump also knew about UFOs. In one version of the story, he wanted to reveal that and was talked out of it. In any case, he did not reveal it. So yeah, let's not try to make this a political thing, one side against the other. No president has come out with this stuff. Oh, and I did want to make a little amendment here because I've been thinking about Mike's information about how Trump found out about UAP crash retrievals and was very upset about that. And I was thinking that conflicted with the Haim Eshed information. However, is it possible that finding out about the crash retrievals motivated him to find out more and ultimately to discover the existence of the Galactic Federation? Now, I say that because Haim Eshed is such a credible individual. brigadier general, co-founder of Israeli space program, waited until the end of his life to come out with this information. So, I don't quickly dismiss that. But it is such weird information that the Galactic Federation is real and that the world governments know about it. So, I'm just trying to figure things out, guys, and see if accounts differ from each other or conflict with each other, or if they might be reconciled in some way. But let me know what you think. In other news, we have another amendment or clarification on the Cash Landrum UFO incident that I reported on. A viewer commented that Richard Doty had actually clarified some elements of it and provided a link to it. And, I go back and forth on Richard Doty. I actually interacted with him once on Disclosure Tonight, and he seemed sincere and genuine. But he is a professional liar, or was a professional liar. And I don't say that disrespectfully. That was his job. He was a disinformation agent. Is he out? Once you're in, are you ever really out? I don't know. You be the judge. But here's what Richard Doty had to say about Cash Landrum.
A number of assignments to Nevada, and I know that they were reverse engineering. I was never actually briefed on it, but common sense can tell me that this craft over here isn't something we made, or it's based on something they designed. The only exception to that is the Cash Landrum incident in 1980. I know for a fact, I was involved in that. I know for a fact that that craft was piloted by Air Force pilots. It was based on a extraterrestrial craft that we'd had, and it was reverse engineered, but the propulsion system failed, as a malfunction in some manner, spurring out radioactivity, and I know that for a fact. But that's the only reverse engineering.
Okay, so there you go. There's Richard Doty on Cash Landrum. It seems very likely and very believable, and I tend to think his account is probably accurate. Meanwhile, check this out. Recent photos of the new Nazca mummy, Suje. It's unclear if this is going to be one of the mummies they're going to talk more about on the 12th. But this is one of the mummies I've shown before, but some new pictures. This is the really interesting one with wings, or some sort of wing-like appendage. I don't know what that thing is. Somebody suggested it might be fins. Who knows? Who knows? But it's really an intriguing structure there. What do you think those things could be? That's just fascinating. So hopefully we'll find out more on the 12th, either about this mummy or some others. We're going to get supposedly 2 new mummies on the 12th. Now, when they say new, does that mean that we've never seen any of their images before at all? Because that would be like the giants. That would be something we've never seen before. We've only seen their hands. Some people are saying that it's the gray alien that they've teased, but we have seen images of it. So if it's entirely new, that's not the one. Whatever it is, I can't wait. Getting back to Ross, at another point in the Need to Know episode, he reveals why we're experiencing a lull in UFO news right now. And it's not bad news at all. And I apologize that the video is a little wonky. Apparently there was something going on with Ross's equipment.
I think you are going to see a lot more coverage. This year is going to be, and I know everybody rolls their eyes at this year is going to be a very interesting year. There are reasons why it's all going dark. The reasons are, firstly, yes, I've made no secret of this. I'm talking to people who purport to be working inside the legacy crash retrieval reverse engineering program. Yeah, the one that Dr. Kirkpatrick says doesn't exist. The simple fact is those people have got a very clear message now from the Pentagon and the intelligence community that we don't have your back. That despite what Congress has very clearly laid out in legislation, that there should be no criticism, no attacks of people for coming forward about illegal programs that have been concealed improperly from Congress. It's been made very, very clear by the Pentagon's person who they appointed to investigate UAPs that we are going to bully and intimidate you if you try and come forward. That's the very clear message and perception that I take from the way that Dr. Kirkpatrick has behaved himself in the last few weeks. All he's done is go out on a media rant which is designed to intimidate people from feeling they cannot feel okay about coming forward. As I say, it's not going to work, but I also urge patience from people out there. I've actually had people threatening me, saying, tell all, reveal everything you know, or we're going to attack you. And I think, well, big fuck you. The simple fact is, this is methodical, plodding work. We're entering into the boring phase of investigation. It's checking sources, verifying information, doing the homework, the very thing that, frankly, a lot of the critics say we never do. It's not an entertainment.
So there you go. It's not an entertainment. He's not your monkey. He's not here to entertain us, but he is here to give us reliable information, and he is in the process of making sure that information is reliable, and we all just need to kind of be patient for him and others to make sure that's credible. He also says that Sean Kirkpatrick, the lovely Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick's campaign of disinformation and bullying is not going to work. Power to the people, baby. Power to the people. Meanwhile, this video has been making the rounds, and it was sent to me by a viewer, and at first I was really amazed by it, and then I saw the disclaimer that it was fake. You know, this is purportedly from Sweden, and it looks like an amazing UFO. I mean, just a really clear, awesome capture of a UFO supposedly in 2024, but apparently it's fake. At least that is what readers' context are saying. The video above is fake. It was made by QVist Designs and posted to Instagram. More proof it's fake here, and it links to a Reddit page. You know, who knows? A lot of debunkings are themselves debunked in time. I would love for this to be a real UFO, but it's probably not. However, I love it, and thank you very much for sending it to me. Here's a UFO that hasn't been debunked. Check this out. Broad daylight, you get this tic-tac shaped UFO. And there you can clearly see it in the zoom in. Broad daylight. Is this some sort of public display? Is this a deliberate reveal by the beings? What do you think? Because they do that, right? Phoenix Lights, you know, many instances, including my own UFO sighting, was a very deliberate reveal. And so is that what we're looking at here? Or did they just forget to turn off their cloaking device? I don't know, but that sure does look like a solid sighting. Is that a tic-tac, or are we just looking at a saucer edge on? I don't know, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Here's another cool UFO or anomalous sighting that's been making the rounds recently. Check that out. Strange lights in the water. What in the world is that? I don't believe that's CGI or any other, fake. Could it be some sort of natural, phosphorescent life form? Or are we looking at something more anomalous? Because there is various, phosphorescent sea life or bioluminescent, maybe the better way to say it. But I don't know if that's what we're looking at here, guys. We could be looking at something alien. Oh, and the other day, Matt Laszlo asked AOC what she thought about David Grush, and she had an interesting response.
What do you make of Grush's...
Pardon?
The whistleblower David Grush. What do you make of his claims?
Well, in the jurisdiction of the committee, our scope of interest really pertains to the actual whistleblowing allegation. Yeah. That is really the jurisdiction of that. And so it really, that is more for our responsibility.
Yeah.
The allegations of reprisal and culture is actually a primary concern. Secondary, the substance of it is notwithstanding. The culture and actual incident allegation conduct is what is.
Appreciate you.
Okay, so she's not going to talk about aliens or little green men. What gets her in the door is the reprisals against David Grush and investigating government corruption. And hey, whatever gets her in the door, whatever gets her sincerely looking into this and trying to do something about it is great. And I totally understand her not wanting to talk about aliens or other congresspeople not wanting to talk about aliens. Even though they're passing the UFO Disclosure Act or have already passed some version of it, they still don't want to go there. So, whatever. At least AOC is willing to dig in to the reprisals surrounding David Grush. Oh, and this is a cool video somebody did or mock-up somebody did comparing Tic Tacs to various things like birds or UFOs to birds. That's what satellites look like. We just saw what birds look like. And that is what a plane looks like. And that is what a UFO looks like. Check that out. So I really appreciate this guy doing this, putting these together, comparing UFOs. Legitimately anomalous object there, changing directions, etc. Comparing that to birds and planes and satellites. Really well done. Last but not least, here's a study done on alien encounters and their effects on humans. This is really cool. This is from ResearchGate, a study on reported contact with non-human intelligence associated with UAP. This was done in 2018. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole study. I'll just give you the basic upshot, and I will link to it, and you can research it at your leisure. But the general thrust of it is that 70% of people that have these contact experiences have positive experiences. Now, that's really interesting because that lines up very well with the research done by the Edgar Mitchell Foundation that found that 8 out of 10 long-term contactees or abductees had a favorable view of their experiences. So no matter how scary all this can seem, at least there's that. The phenomenon doesn't seem to be hostile. It doesn't seem to be scary or negative in general, although there are definitely people out there that have suffered and that have been through the ringer on this, and my heart goes out to you. But I think we can all take some solace, at least in the research that's been done, that the phenomenon in general is positive, or at least that people have positive interactions with it. So on that happy note, I'll leave you to it. But if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, links below. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please grab some merch in the merch store. See the link below, or become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Also, channel members frequently get to see videos hours ahead of everybody else. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.